Welcome back to the View from Here, ladies and gentlemen. Mike and I have been having a few laughs before we got
Oh, yeah.
on here, and it's not funny enough to tell you what it was about. But anyway, so how was your day? What the hell? You got an alarm going on? I got more alarms than you. Everybody complains about my alarm.
Yep.
You know, if I'm ever in an active shooter situation, I better shut my fucking phone down real quick.
Absolutely. Either that or throw the phone at them.
Yeah, so they don't find me.
Excuse me, sir. It's for you.
Anyway, so what's new since we last spoke? Did you hear the? I thought our New Year's Day show, New Year's Eve, no, our Happy New Year show was pretty good. Did you hear it? Watch it, listen.
I'm up to date. Everything's good.
Cool. Yeah, I think I've told you before that the reason I started taping these things is I thought we had a lot of interesting stuff to say. And for those of you who don't know, we started taping these shows on audio only and publishing it on Apple Podcasts. The first few months I did it, I taped Mike surreptitiously, and he didn't like it. He took a little shit.
Yeah, it's called.
After he wet his panties, I deleted those, and that was treasure. That was really good. Now he likes it. Now I can't get rid of him because he wants to talk all the fucking time.
Yeah, like right now, right?
Yes. Okay. All right. Here we go. There's nothing to intro right here. Okay. What's going on in the world? If you don't want to tell me what's going on with you.
Well, Trump got his verdict, which was basically an unconditional. They call it an unconditional discharge, which sounds like a prostitute is washing out her pussy. So anyway, the thing is that it's as I understand it, he's guilty of whatever crime they said, but he's he's let loose on his own recognizance, and there are no considerations to it. It's unconditional, so it's an unconditional surrender. Yeah. It's like
just officially he's a felon, but they don't have a felony to charge him with, or that he's been convicted of.
No, he is a felon because he was found guilty, but there's no punishment other than the label of being guilty.
And there's also no felony named. This idiot judge, this jerk-off judge, told the jury that they didn't have to deal with, find any specific crime. Just if they thought he had committed a crime, then they should find him guilty.
Well, even if the thing was what he told them was that you didn't have to be guilty of all charges. You just had to be guilty of something, and then that would spill over to everything else.
But the thing is, that something has still not been delineated, not been named.
Well, right now, the gag order is gone. So we're going to see what's going to happen.
Trump already wrote about that.
Yeah, and
not about the gag order. Wrote about the verdict.
And Judge Merchan, in an attempt to get sympathy, said this was this difficult decision he's ever had to make in his entire career. And I understand that because he had to decide as to whether to go from being a corrupt judge or a universally, supremely corrupt judge, And so that was a tough decision for him.
Well, his decision was either to throw the case out because it was invalid anyway, or make Trump pay for the appeals and go through the process, which might take another year or two. But in the end, it'll clear his name.
Well,
he couldn't do that because he didn't want to backtrack the piece of shit. Merchant, you suck. I hope you wind up in jail. I hope they investigate you and all the corruption you involved in this case, this so-called case.
Well, I know that this is not directly related.
I better not get caught in New York.
I don't know if this is directly related, but the incompetence of the leadership in Los Angeles and the governor,
Oh,
okay, was so extreme that it's actually rattling the cages of all the blue zones throughout the country. Because this California thing was an extreme example of the super progressive liberal wokeness bullshit. You know,
mismanagement.
right? So yes, but the thing is, sacrifice the city of Los Angeles so you can have a salmon run up north. So the thing
Also,
is, you know, so
also,
the Democratic party and its ideology are getting assaulted every which way. And what's
even
happening
by
is
Democrats.
the more people that stand up against it, the more courageous all the other people that are just going along to get along will go, you know what? Maybe these guys are right. So it's affecting everybody. It's affecting New York. It's affecting New Jersey. As a matter of fact, I was listening to some political analysts saying there is a chance, a reasonable chance, that New Jersey might go red on the next election. They're
Yeah.
actually looked at the numbers, looked at the trends, and so forth, and they're actually seeing the possibility of a red New Jersey. And I don't
Well,
mean communist.
the last gubernatorial election, Jack Citarelli came within just a few points of beating this asshole Murphy. Okay, uh, I attribute his loss to the stereotypical and entrenched Democrat cheating machine in this state.
Hey,
Okay, this is
here's
why they have control of the legislature in Trenton. Why they haven't had a real Republican governors. I mean, Christie and what's her name, Christine Todd Whitman don't count. They were rhinos, so I don't count them as real Republicans. They are quasi Democrats in some ways, but
going direction in this conversation. I just want to let people know that simply informing yourself as to the current events and doing your very best to get the most accurate information and holding on to it works. I'll give you an example. There's this guy I know, his name is Bob, and I see him at the store now and then. And Bob is your scaredy cat, leftist, hates Trump guy. So he goes ahead and he sees me yesterday, and he knows that I'm politically motivated. So he goes ahead and he comes up to me with questions. He says, "What's this thing about Greenland? What's going on with Trump and Greenland? And what's going on with the Panama Canal? What's going on with Canada? What's going on with all that?" And I said, "Well, dude, the reason why Trump is interested in Greenland is because the Chinese are going to be controlling the ports, and we can't have that because they're our enemy, too close to home." And I said, and the reason why we're talking about Canada is because Trudeau has just fell out of favor, and the reason why we're talking about Panama is because they broke their contract. They
the
promised
Chinese are running it.
right that they promised that they would be the sole people responsible for the thing, and you got the Chinese again that are an enemy, and the Panama Canal is critical to the well-being of the health of this country. And I told him all that, and he just soaked it up. He goes, "Oh, so my point is that even if you're not on the front lines, the fact of the matter is, if you can get one person, and help them out, help them navigate this confusion, that's one more American we bring back into the boat."
Um, Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles.
No, she ain't no mayor, but go ahead.
No, she is the mayor of Los Angeles. Okay, those assholes elected her. She's a DEI bitch. But do you know what she used to do years ago when she was younger? She used to go every year and take a group of people there to Cuba, so they could be indoctrinated, but in the Cuban ways of managing things. Okay, but they only saw the good parts that the benefits of which are only available to members of the Communist Party in Cuba, not for the average guy. You couldn't go 10 blocks out of your way to go see how real Cubans live. Okay,
Yeah.
and what the policy, Castro's policies were doing to them. Anyway, so she is a devoted communist. All right, and her chief of police, another DEI hire, a lesbian, which doesn't make her necessarily unqualified, but she is pretty fucking stupid too, because she's allowed crime to run rampant.
Well, the reason why they didn't have enough firemen is because they didn't want to hire any more white men. That's actually, yeah, you heard about
They
that.
also fired a lot of firemen in California who refused to take the jab.
Yes.
We can say the jab now, right? Without getting canceled.
150 or more of them. So I think we could use them. Of course, it doesn't matter. There's no water in the goddamn thing because they routed the water away because water is bad.
Yeah, if you see a map of California just a few years ago, there was a huge lake in the middle of I don't know if it's the San Joaquin Valley or some other valley. Yeah, but there was a huge thing of water. That's all gone now. And what Newsom did, Newsom and other Democrats, they diverted all that water into the Pacific Ocean. So the farmers in California who were very productive up until then have been dying off. The farms have been dying off. They're not producing as much as they could and should be producing. And this is all the fault of these Democrats running the state. They have turned the Golden State into, fool's gold. Really, that's how I've described it for years now.
I don't know what exactly jogged my memory on this one. We're going to go way out into left field on this one. So here we go. And I didn't really know about this. I've heard rumors of this, that, and the other thing, but I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly where I heard this. It was on one of the independent news stations. But there's this thing called Muslim grooming. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, in England.
Right.
Well, all over, really. But in England, they've been very active, and the government has been behind them, supporting them, rather than supporting the parents who are upset. But go ahead.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Well, instead, I can't lead up to this. I'm just going to give you the big bullet. Over 1 million young girls between the ages of 12 and 13 have been raped since 2018 by Pakistani Muslims.
That is a race that, I'm sorry, to me, it doesn't belong on the face of the earth. Okay? They do not belong in Western civilization. They don't, even in their own country, it's not really civilized. Okay? They're an uncivilized lot. And those people do not want to assimilate into whatever Western society they are invading. They want to take over and they want to turn it into a caliphate.
Well, this particular situation, which has been, what's happened is that the worst part of it is that the aristocracy and the political machine have been hiding this, has been
actively
covering for it because they didn't want to deal with it for whatever their reasons, right? And so much so that some of the girls that were raped, when they reported it, the girls were actually accused of knowingly going into a risky area and therefore were held responsible for their own rape.
Right.
You're 11, 12 years old.
And they were threatened not to say anything.
Well, I haven't gotten all the info on it.
Oh, no, this has been going on for years. It's been going on for years. Well, I've heard and read about it for years.
Well, I knew it was happening in small things on like they would surround a woman on a train so this way nobody could see, and then they would rape her in the middle of the fucking train.
They did that in Germany too at a festival, a Christmas festival or something a couple of years ago. I don't know if it was a Christmas fest, some kind of festival, but they were surrounding young women, young teenagers, and raping them, and moving on and grabbing more victims as they went through the crowd.
As far as I'm concerned, they should go ahead and go into that rat's nest and and exterminate them. They don't
Oh yeah,
deserve.
I see them flying their Pakistan, their terrorist flags and marching down the street and everything, and kill, death to America, death to Israel. This and that. I would love to see a napalm strike on that crowd.
New
One
Orleans.
napalm right up the alley.
New Orleans.
Yeah,
Same thing. So
same
the thing
thing.
is that these are individuals that
The
believe
religion of peace at work.
these are individuals that believe that they have the divine right to be able to eradicate any heathen, which they deem as a heathen. So
Yeah, non-believers.
yeah. So the thing is, uh, I'm not making them an enemy. They've made me one.
Exactly. That's how I feel. That's how I felt for many years now.
So the thing is that um, now it's being exposed to the point where um, uh, the power elite in England are now being exposed for this. So the thing is that I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is that I'm starting to wonder what has happened to the males in the world that are not these rabid Muslims.
It
Okay.
just so happens I have heard stuff about that.
Oh, good. Was there?
Okay, I follow nutrition and so forth, a lot of things, and part of what is being blamed for the pussification of men is that there's a lot of estrogen being pumped into us through the food supply, through our
Right.
water supply. Okay, and I mean, you take this generate these new generations after ours, and they are really getting worse and worse. Except for some reason, the current younger generation seems to be a little more level-headed. However, they are having trouble procreating
That's
because
the bottled water. The plastic in the bottled water is sterilizing them.
yeah, that's among other things, a lot of other things. Yeah, what do they call it? Plastic. There's a name for that.
Castrations.
Microplastics.
Yes.
Microplastics are causing. Oh, and also even your underwear. I only wear cotton underwear these days, and I still wear boxer shorts or sometimes boxers. I will not wear briefs anymore, even though I'm not going to have any kids. But I mean, at my age, I'm not going to have any kids. However, young men are tightening their genitals with these little briefs. And the reason you have your testicles outside of your body was to keep them, I think it's 2 degrees cooler than the rest of your body. That enables them to produce sperm, productive sperm. Young men are not getting that. Plus, the crap we're being fed and the crap we're drinking is causing them to be able to produce less and less. I think the average testosterone count over the past, I forget how many years, has gone from something like, I don't know, it's a big percentage drop. It's below 50% of people who are fertile. And it used to be 85%, something like that.
I think
The testosterone levels, I'm sorry, testosterone levels have dropped so much that men are getting in for, I know a couple, at least one couple that I know of, they're trying to have a baby. They've been married over a year. They're trying to have a baby. No dice. Okay?
you know.
And he's athletic. This kid plays sports. And she's pretty athletic too.
There's more than one factor involved in getting pregnant, but the thing is that interesting point on again. I'm going off into left field. 15,000, I believe, 15,000 doctors signed a petition saying they do not want um, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to be given the position of health czar or whatever you want to
Yeah,
call it.
you know why they signed that?
Yeah, because
The
they're
pharmaceutical companies are pushing them because they will make less money from pushing the drugs that the pharmaceutical companies want them to push on people rather than going with homeopathic medicine, going with natural medicine, going with exercise and getting out into the fresh air.
the medical profession has proven itself to be unworthy of our loyalty because
or respect. The AMA has been corrupt for years. So has the American Dental Association, which insists you have to put fluoride toothpaste.
COVID proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt. The COVID event allowed these people to go ahead and basically um, um, behave in a unprofessional, unhippocratic way. Instead of concerning themselves with the patients, they were more concerned with their financial well-being or the institution they worked for.
Yeah, they're being bullied into it, just as they were during the COVID thing. Okay,
Well,
they were not allowed to prescribe certain drugs that have now been found to help fight COVID, to help recuperate from COVID.
Doctors are supposed to be immune to being bullied because of the fact that they're
supposed to.
Yes. Well, the thing is, the type of life that they've chosen, a life where their decision making can actually either radically improve or diminish a person's life to the point of death. That kind of responsibility calls for integrity. And those who bowed over to it, okay, instead of going with those who were speaking against it, those people, as far as I'm concerned, they are doctors in name only. They are not doctors in spirit.
No. And the American Medical Association, the American Cardiological Association, all those cancer research places, they've found cures and everything, but the pharmaceutical companies won't let them cure it because a patient who's sick is a customer for life.
There's no profit in cures.
No profit whatsoever. And also, let me find something out. You say 15,000 doctors signed that bogus document?
It was either.
How many medical doctors exist in the United States?
You should say.
Okay. The range is from, they estimate from several 100,000 to more than 1 million.
I understand. It's a portion of it.
It's a tiny fraction. Most doctors are honest and so forth, but these are the compromised ones, the ones who sold their fucking souls, and they don't give a shit about what they do. Like Fauci. We got 15,000 Faucis out there. All right? I'd love to see Fauci rot in jail and spend 20 years there, live to 100, so that he gets fucked up the ass every day by somebody while he's in jail.
Well, I tell you what, I
know, maybe I should edit that out, but I don't edit anything, so fuck it.
So the thing is that I think they should get Fauci and they should nail him to the ground in Wuhan and let him live there and only exist by the mercy of those people giving him food. Put him in a cage and just, if you don't feed him, he dies. That's all there is to it.
Doesn't the ASPA do this? Take him, put his head inside of a box, and then put flies in there. See how long he lasts. Like he did to the beagles.
Okay. Well, yeah.
So punishment should fit the crime.
Okay, so we've gone some pretty interesting directions. Then we have the California fire. We have Newsom, and then did you see the video with that woman who confronted Newsom to his face? And he said, "I'm talking to the president right now," and she says, "You're a liar." Yeah, they had this woman, and there was this camera crew was bringing her to where her house was, and they were going to film her reaction, which is really fucked up as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, in the process, they accidentally bumped into Newsom. So the camera crew went out with this woman, and she started talking to Newsom and saying, "What are you going to do? What are you going to do?" And he said shit like, "Well, I'm talking to the president right now." I don't believe you. It's like she just like called him out on everything, and she said,
"Was this today or was it recently?"
I think it's today.
Because I saw something else, but I think it was a couple of days ago where
recent. Today,
what's that?
so recent.
Well, today is really recent. Oh, no. I'm confusing you with somebody who claimed to be on the phone and couldn't talk to the reporters. But you see a shot of the phone. The phone there's nothing on the phone.
Yeah.
It's the screen with all the apps. So
Right.
she wasn't talking to anyone and
Well,
making the excuse she couldn't talk.
I listened to James Wood talk about his house burning, and you and I are big fans of James Wood, and sad to see that. But he said a friend of his called him up, and he gave him the address to his home. He said, "You can stay there. Keys are in the car. You got everything you need. Just get there."
Mel Gibson was on Joe Rogan, and
Yes.
while he was talking to Joe Rogan, his house was burned. His $14 million mansion was burned.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, okay. So like the guy on the radio said, you're not going to feel sorry for him because he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. However, this was his home. This was his and his wife's home. They lost everything they had.
Yeah, that's like I think James Woods was living there for like over 40 years. He raised his family, he raised his children.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean the thing is that um I don't know when you have that much money, I don't know how much of that is truly available to you. But the thing is that yeah, he's gonna survive. Okay, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's still a trauma to the emotional well-being of the victim.
Well, here's another interesting thing. A lot of the people they had their insurance disavowed before the fire took place.
Yeah,
And I'm not
yeah.
talking.
I understand James Woods didn't have insurance.
The insurance company didn't think it was safe enough to insure these people, so they removed their insurance.
Well, State Farm left the state last year because Newsom refused to clean up the dead wood in the forest.
You mispronounced his name. It's New Scum.
New scum. Oh! Guess how big? At least this morning. Guess how big the fire, which is still out of control as far as I know. Guess how big it has been so far as of this morning.
Area wise,
Yes, area wise.
I don't know. It's massive.
It has already burned the size of 2 Manhattans.
Okay.
Just picture that. How huge that. I mean, Manhattan is what, 14
Over
square miles, I think.
10,000 buildings.
Well, maybe not as many buildings out in California because a lot of it is private homes where it went, but still, you're talking about thousands. I'm talking about minimum 5,000. I don't care how
No.
far apart they are.
Last figure I heard was over 10,000 buildings destroyed.
Oh, I thought you were talking about New York City had 10,000 buildings.
No.
Okay.
I have no idea what New York's got. But the thing is, you got to understand the buildings in that area in California are not on top of each other.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. For 10,000, imagine if that was as congested as New York and New Jersey. How many more properties?
158,000 refugees.
Yeah, but those refugees won't get the help that these illegals are getting. Oh, that's another thing. There's no money to send to California, but yesterday, I think it was yesterday,
500 million.
he told me that he sent another $5 billion to Ukraine.
Well, 500 million.
500 million. Okay, half a billion. Oh, I'm sorry, but there's no money for the hurricane victims down there, the victims of Helene. There's no money for these people in California who've lost everything. No money for that. But we can keep giving money to foreign powers and build up the defense. What do they call it? What did Eisenhower call it? The military-industrial complex. Give them the cash to build more weapons to send to Ukraine, and also give out all these handouts to these goddamn fucking illegals who should not be here.
He also Biden also signed a paper, I believe yesterday or the day before, that it removes all permission on the coast. I think it comes out to like something like 50 or 60,000 square miles of water around the coast of the United States. Cannot be drilled. But
yeah,
I believe somebody in the Supreme Court said he doesn't have the authority to do that.
Good. The other thing Karen Bass, let's get back to that bitch. She took away, I think it's $17 million from the fire department and fired whatever amount of number of firemen it was, and that money was used for homeless and illegals.
Actually, I believe um, $63 billion overall in Los Angeles was spent on the homeless.
63 billion.
That's what I remember. It might be six
billion. We're not talking million. Billion.
It might be 6.3 billion, but I remember 6.3.
Still, you know how far how much $1 billion even could help the hurricane victims or the victims of these fires.
And I tell you,
Cali is still fucked up.
You have to send the victims money. Just get FEMA out of there and tell them to stay the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, they don't allow certain things. Like under Obama, I remember one time they went in and was it under Biden? They went in and tried to send some food to some places that had suffered earthquakes or something, and FEMA wouldn't allow it because it had too much salt and too much sugar. Starving people don't give a fuck. Okay, you look at the rest of you know the story behind Moby Dick.
I don't know. Is this another one of your gay stories?
It was based on the actual sinking of the whale ship Essex in, I believe, 1821. They were shipwrecked when they caught a whale and they harpooned a whale and the whale was speeding, dragging both boats after him. Meanwhile, the mate of the whale they harpooned
the ship
rams the ship 3 times and sinks it. Okay. This is where Melville got the idea for Moby Dick, and the lifeboats. They found 2 lifeboats. I think 60 or 90 days later. 90 days later, they were 2,000 miles off the coast of Argentina, stranded without a ship, just in rowboats, and no supplies. So there were about I think 8 men per ship or something. Now, I didn't know this. I listened to Mike Rowe talking to Joe Rogan about this, explaining it to him. They had a written code, maritime code, about how to eat people if you're shipwrecked or if you're marooned on an island. There's a protocol for that. You cannot, for example, eat your brother. So there's a protocol for drawing short straws to see who's going to get shot next and eaten. So if your brother was there, you guys couldn't be involved in that because you can't eat your brother's flesh. Okay? Not until the end, maybe. Anyway, 3 months after the shipwreck, Argentinian sailors or fishermen or something came upon this boat on the shore there, and they looked over the gunwale and they see what was left of a body that had been like shredded to nothing but like bones, and it was like kind of melted in the middle, and then on either side, one in the stern, one in the bow, 2 guys who looked like human skeletons just staring at each other. They were waiting for the other one to die so that they could eat again. Okay.
Well, see, patience.
And what was the point of all this?
Patience bears fruit.
Yeah, what was the point of? Why did I start the story?
Because you're demented.
Yeah, I know, but
you're overstubborn and you're demented.
Whale ship Essex. Anyway, and Moby Dick. I don't remember. I gotta put down notes so I can write this up for the show notes after we're done recording. But I can't remember how I got onto. What were we talking about?
What about taking a vacation to the Gulf of America?
Yeah, some people are upset that they're going to call it. Did you see what the president of Mexico said?
What?
That they should call North America Mexican America.
That's a good joke.
Yeah, right. Fuck you, bitch. No, I don't think it's a joke. Let me see.
No. This is what I think. I think that's Trump's way of telling Mexico, if you don't fucking do right by us, I am going to piss all over you. That's all. I don't think he gives a shit about the name of the Gulf of Mexico, Gulf of
Oh,
America, whatever.
by the way, I also heard today that this is possibly what George H.W. Bush was talking about in the early '90s when he said New World Order. Some people are saying he didn't mean a New World Order like Klaus Schwab wants. Okay, the Great Reset. He's saying that what he was saying there, if you look at the words, and it could mean this, could be could be either way. But what this guy was saying is it's possible that Bush was referring to the fact that the New World Order was we do what we want. We're the ones who run the world. You listen to us.
All I know is whether it's Papa Bush or Baby Bush, they both suck. And I don't give a fuck about what they think.
Yeah, I was a supporter of Baby. I left the Republican Party after the first Bush got elected. I said no more. After Reagan, I said no. I was a staunch Republican while Reagan was in office. As soon as Bush was elected, I said nah, I don't like it. Now,
First,
not that I liked his opponent. No, the little guy with the helmet. What's his name? Governor of Massachusetts. What was his name? Dukakis. Yes, the midget who put himself in the tank and took the worst campaign photo ever.
well, the reason why Dukakis lost was because he admitted that taxes were going to go up.
Well, Kamala was saying taxes were going to go up.
Yeah, but she's a communist. That's different.
Yes. Well, yeah. Dukakis was a Massachusetts Democrat. Can you say Massachusetts Democrats are communists? Yes, they are. Okay. This is it's been referred to since the. I remember first reading about the People's Republic of Massachusetts way back in the early 1980s. Okay.
Well, there you go. Anything else?
Anything else? Let's see. We're at only 37 minutes. You want to end this one and start a new one, or we'll have two.
I think we're
going
talking.
out.
I know the truth.
What's that? We're talked out.
Yeah, because it's really. I mean, Jimmy Carter died. Oh, here's something to talk about. That fucking dumbass hick cocksucker Darth Brooks sang "Imagine" in the church. Imagine there's no God. Go fuck yourself.
Oh yeah, that the worst song John Lennon ever wrote. Okay, the communist.
I liked it. I liked it until he sang it in the church. Anyway, the thing is that I know one thing: Jimmy Carter wouldn't agreed with that language. So, the thing is, I think I forget somebody. I think one of the church leaders spoke out against it. It is the most inappropriate song to have. And what was he? A Methodist or an Episcopalian or something like that? I don't know.
Carter. He was either Methodist or Baptist. I don't know.
And you know he was Orthodox in some way.
Okay.
So the thing is,
I never saw him with a yarmulke.
well, I was an Orthodox Protestant.
Oh, you know what I saw at a store last week? We went shopping with Monty. I saw these spiked heels, right? But they had fur on the outside of them, and I took a picture of them. But what I told Valtina was, you know what? You know those Jewish guys who wear the round wheel with the fuzzy looks like a fuzzy cheese head. I said, that's for Orthodox. No, what is it? Hasidic Jews who wear that thing who want to be trans. That's right. Those are the shoes for that.
Yeah. That's.
I guess you have to see the shoes. I'll try and get a picture of it. Put it into that.
I heard that the clothes that the Orthodox Jews wear are extremely expensive. Like it's all like first class material.
Probably wool.
Yeah. So the thing is that it's not like they have a large wardrobe. I guess it's like they wear
black
the same
and white
over again. But I'm quite sure because
they compete with the Amish. I think at the fashion shows.
I only wear 4 or 5 different shirts, or 3 or 4 different pairs of pants. I wash them, wear them again.
You know what? I think that the Amish have them beat because I think the Amish wear brown as well as black and white. Don't they? I think I've seen them in from black. They
None of
wear black hats.
none of the stuff that the Amish wear is mass produced. It's all handmade.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's custom made, man. Hey, Italian man-made suits were considered the best for decades.
You know what it means when you say it's custom made. That means your civilization has gotten stupid. And when somebody actually sews something and puts it together, oh, that's custom.
Yeah.
That's so
Oh,
special.
I do want to say one thing. I read the words of the ILA president, the International Longshoremen's Association president. Okay, he got a 62% increase for his union work people. So any ILA ports, they got a 62% increase, plus assurances that there will be no automation taking jobs in ILA run ports. But the thing I loved the most was he said it was thanks to the support of President Trump that they were able to get this deal through. Now, you people who keep saying that Trump is anti-union, fuck you. He just proved that he's not, and he didn't prove it. I'm sorry. The president of one of the biggest unions in the country just proved that you are fucking idiots. That you are lying. Okay?
Actually,
When you say that Trump is anti-union.
actually, that brings me back to the story I told you about earlier. I was telling that guy about all these facts about the canal and Canada and
Oh
Greenland.
yeah, Bob.
So,
What about
so
Bob?
yeah, but the thing is that Bob goes ahead and says, "Yeah, but you know, he just I don't trust him." I said, "Well, you know, I hate to break the news to you, but I hear all kinds of terrible things about Trump, and every time when I look into them, I find out that they were misinformed or exploded to the point where they're no longer reasonably accurate." You know, the thing is, I told him this. So the thing is that, getting back to what you just said, you know, that triggered me just now. You know, is that you know, we have to. Another thing that we have to do for people is to calm them down and let them know that these
They're being fed bullshit.
their runaway ideas don't have much basis. Like one person went up to me and they said, "Oh, Trump is anti-trans." I said, "What are you talking about?" He says he was opposed to trans people being in the military. And I never heard anything about that. So I looked it up and come to find out what Trump did was he said to the military leaders, the various ones, he says, "This is your issue. You decide what you want to do with your military." So
He is actually the most pro LGBTQ president ever.
YMCA, baby. YMCA.
YMCA.
What
I don't want to do the jerk off thing.
I can't stand that song because of the fact that it's a village people and they're
I didn't. No, I kind of was all right, but I never really liked it. But now that he started using it as a theme song, now you got people in the NFL players after a score were dancing to YMCA.
which really it's kind of like the let's go Brandon thing. It's like you're doing the basically the gay anthem, YMCA, right? And, and so you can't say no to that. But now it's a Trump um, uh, brand now almost. So it's like what do you do with that? You know, it's like you can't say, well, that's not good because the village people. Oh shit! I can't say that.
Yeah, you know what happened though? The Village People, the guy who wrote it, the guy in the Village People who wrote that song,
Yeah.
when he heard that Trump was using it for his rally, at first he thought, no, I got to tell him to stop it. Then he said, the hell with it, let it go. Well, he made a really good decision because that record came back on the charts, hit the top 10 again,
Right.
and he's been making a lot. They've been making a lot of money, or he has anyway, because he was a writer. They've been making a lot of residual royalties from the song the past year or so.
He's probably also at
He's
various.
probably saying, "Thank God for Trump."
Well, you know, Trump can sometimes.
I thought that the gay anthem to me was always There's always "It's raining men."
No, that's the black women sing that. the the
Who
only
was it that sang that? Who sang that?
I think there was a big black woman that sang that. That's the only
Big
way.
black woman. She
Yeah,
was big. No, she was big at the time, but she's not considered big now after
no,
Lizzo.
no, huge, like in size,
What
fat.
do you mean fat? Yeah, she's fat, but she wasn't huge. Lizzo is huge.
Well,
Okay?
Lizzo is grotesque
Yeah.
in the purest sense of the word.
But that's another thing they were talking about Bobby Kennedy coming in and wrestling with the FDA and the Department of Agriculture and all that shit, and getting our food in line again. Because he said again, you can look at any picture of a baseball game in the 1960s. You can look at a picture of the people in the stadium. You have to look hard to find even one fat person if they're there. Nowadays, you got to look for Waldo, the skinny guy. Okay,
There
because
were there were heavy set people, but they weren't like they are now. It was
they were
very
not obese. Everybody's obese now. Come on,
well.
everybody, not everybody. A lot of people. I mean, you and I have been obese. I've been obese over the years and cut and lost weight and so forth. You know, I've done it now. This morning I was 189 pounds, butt
Right.
naked.
How tall are you?
5'9" now. I shrunk
I
an
didn't know
inch over the
that
years.
high.
What color eyes are your? What color are your eyes?
I ain't fucking telling
What
you.
color are your eyes? See, you're brown eyes, so you're full of shit. Me, I'm hazel eyes because I'm a quart short. Okay.
Hmm. But there was a recent picture of these teenagers in Russia. Lots of them, like maybe the scanned like 50 or 60 of them. And it's
Playing dancing YMCA.
no, they're just a picture of these kids at a
Yeah,
school, whatever. And the person who posted it says, "What don't you see in this picture?" Not one of them was fat.
right. Oh, you know what? Another thing they do in Russia. This is at every playground in Russia. They have bars in all the playground, more than one setup, and pull-up bars. And those guys, they do pull-ups like there's no tomorrow. I mean, that is the thing. They compete with each other, see who can do how many
When I was a
more
kid,
pull-ups. One-handed pull-ups. What?
we used to do the monkey bars.
Yeah, but these guys, they're doing just pull-ups all the time. So you got guys who can do
I think
100 pull-ups at a time
really
after a few years. What?
I think the monkey bars are equally difficult.
Yeah, you had to climb up and God forbid if you fell.
Yeah.
In our time, you were lucky if it was packed dirt.
Well, we all did it. We all swung
Yeah,
from.
you were lucky if it was on packed dirt and not on cement.
Let's see, what was it? It was. Oh, that's right. It was asphalt.
Yeah, asphalt. Yeah, but you were lucky if they had packed dirt instead.
No,
Uh,
no, because the asphalt made me tough.
no, I know, but the packed dirt would cushion it a little.
If it's a soft surface, you're not as scared to fall. So you.
Oh, yeah, I was well, the only cement they had was at the bases because they had to anchor it real good in the ground.
Yeah, well, uh,
I remember when I used to go to the playground sometimes, like if there was nobody around to play with, it was tough. Like I go to the seesaw, I had to run from one side to the other.
well, there was this really strange thing that was kind of like a monkey bar. It looked like a metal pyramid, almost like octagonal, and you climb up there. You go to the bars that were in the center, and you'd slide on down.
A geodesic dome.
No, it almost it came like this, and then it went up, and that's where the bars were. So it's kind
Oh,
of it was kind of like a big nipple.
you know what my big thing was when I was about
I don't want to
14, 15?
don't
No, 14, 15. Whenever I used to go, whenever I used to go to Riverbank Park, I like there was an area there that had a roof and a cement floor and everything. And I guess they had tables in there. I don't know, but they used to have two. They used to have a bar about let's see, it was about up to here. Okay, but at the time it was up to here on me. So I learned to do that from a friend.
Right.
It was high enough that you could swing your head around it and not hit the ground. So
Right.
we used to go up and just walk up to it, put your hands like this way, and then just swivel around and land on your feet on the other side. It was cool thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. We let's see.
We did stupid shit.
We had a thing called a merry-go-round.
Oh
And
yeah,
the,
I used to move my sons on that thing. I used to
right.
run as fast as I could.
But the old ones were huge. They were not small. They were like maybe I would say 15 feet across, and they
I've seen those years ago.
octagonal, all different colors, and then you have the
We had
bar.
a lot of kids there.
Yes, and the point is that when you were a kid, you're trying to make it go so fast that you would knock people off. You're trying to make it so fast that they couldn't
Yeah.
hold on.
And also, did you ever, while pushing it, did you ever trip? Oh man, that hurts too. You land on your stomach while you're running it, and you gotta, when you fall, you try and keep away from the spinning thing so you don't get hit.
If I did, I don't remember. No, I
It
don't remember.
happened a couple of times, but again, I'm talking about when I don't remember it so much. No, I remember as a kid, yeah. But when I used to take my sons to the thing, this was only maybe 8 feet across. The ones I used to take my kids to, and I used to run around there. And the thing was packed with the people who would run around on it all the time. That path was so if you fell on hard dirt, man,
Well, I remember
off a wall.
they had the wooden swings with the chains. And what we used to do is we used to twist them inside and we'd sit and we'd spin because it would go like undo it. Yeah. And then,
And then we go the other way and then back.
right. So what would happen is sometimes you would go back and forth so far and then you jump through the air, and go quite a distance.
Yeah, that was fucking dead. Yeah, I remember there were times when guys would go swing, and they go around. And I never had the guts to do it. I got close to doing it, but I got where I was above parallel, but I just couldn't bring myself to it. I was like, no.
Even if you get that high, if you come down at the wrong way, you don't just swing down. You kind of like reach a point where you go poof, and you actually fall a little bit, and you have to hold on.
Oh, if the chain loses its what do you call it? Its tautness.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Things get, and then I remember one of the tricks that you would do with somebody is you would twist the chain on one side, and you'd push back and forth, you let go, and then you let go of the chain, and it would drop. It didn't fall very far. It was just a little twist.
Yeah, I used to most of the time that I remember, pushing a swing was when my sons were little, so I didn't do anything to endanger them.
Underneath we had these big metal slides, and we used to go underneath and hold the bars that came out at an angle, and we would climb up and around, and then flip. We'll do a 360.
Wait, what kind of bars were these?
This was a slide.
Slide.
A slide. You know how to slide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, slide.
So the big metal slides, they had these bars coming out of the side. And if you stretched your arms and went like across, you could jump up and catch your feet underneath the slide and walk up over the top and flip.
I remember climbing slide, but they just had to we had to climb like this and get to the top.
It was not the intention of the slide for you to do that. It was something
I know.
we did ourselves.
Yeah, no, I know. No, we were supposed to slide down, but we used to show up by climbing up, and some of them were 12 feet high, man.
about was underneath the slide. Underneath the slide, we would grab the poles,
Oh, underneath the
walk
slide.
up and around while holding onto the pole until we got 180 out and then let go.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't recall ever doing that, but I know what you're talking about. I can picture it. But
Yes.
yeah, but some of those slides were, most of them were like 6 to 8 feet, right? 6, 7, 8 feet. But there, I remember seeing some in some big playground. They were 12 feet high.
Yeah, that's the one I'm
Yeah.
talking. That's the
And
one.
those, they had those things underneath. And those there, I mean, in the summer when you're wearing shorts, how much how much skin was, kid, in those playgrounds on those slides? You probably lost more skin than some people at Auschwitz did
Hmm.
on the metal part, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm just trying to remember of any other thing. There was a seesaw, which was kind of boring. Of course,
no, it wasn't boring if you were the one who was keeping the person up and not letting them down. Then when they tried to get down, you went up, so the thing would hit them in the.
on it.
Yeah,
What you do is you'd seesaw, and at some point you would jump off your seat, and the person would fall down.
yeah, but that was like Russian roulette because you didn't know if you were going to be the first one to do it to him or if he was going to do it to you first.
That was the joy.
Either jumping off or just holding him there. I remember one time I was up there, and this one kid, I don't want to say his name, but he was, let's say he was ahead of his time because he was obese. Okay. He was way ahead of his time. He was obese in the late 50s. And this kid would sit there and laugh while I'm telling him to get down because I was small, and that height, the seesaw wasn't that tall, maybe 5 feet, 4 feet, I don't know, but it seemed like you're on the Empire State Building looking down.
The other thing is that you're not in a position to really handle that fall anyway. You're straddled. If you
Yeah,
fall, you're going to go straight on your groin.
yeah, and really bang down. If you were lucky, you had your feet, and you could catch it with your feet, but you still wound up. The thing would bounce on the ground, then bounce up into your ass.
Do you remember a hot dog uh, uh, company called Wesson's? They made hot dogs. I'm not hot dogs, hamburgers. Hamburgers. They made the Wesson burger.
I vaguely remember that, but I don't know
We're
if I
in
ever had it.
Elizabeth on Broadway Avenue, and they used to be my favorite place.
Now we used to go for rides up north usually, like to we'd wind up in Jersey City at the park there, and my father every Sunday in the summer or in the hot months, the last stop of the day before we went home was find a good humor truck in the park in Jersey City.
Yeah,
Get some good
I,
banana ice cream.
do they still have ice cream trucks anywhere? Because I don't think they do.
I think they still do in some places,
Yeah,
but you don't see them. They were ubiquitous when we were growing up.
sure.
Yeah.
As a matter of
And you
fact,
can hear the bells come. No, they do have ice cream truck. That's right. What am I talking about? I remember even when my grandkids who were still living here in Clark, sometimes you'd hear the ice cream truck come by, and even where my son lives down further south, the ice. If I'm over there for the weekend or for on the weekend, you can hear the ice cream truck. My son gives the kids money, and they all go out a bunch of them to meet the. I guess it's Mr. Softy.
Softy, Mr. Softy,
I
and
think
then
it's Mr. Salty, but they also sell hard ice cream now. I always liked the hard ice cream. I didn't care for the Mr. Salty that much. Yeah.
I preferred the custard. Um, I don't know why. I just did. I think it had, for me, it had a more vanilla flavor.
I think the texture in your mouth reminded you of something else.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was soft and gooey.
I'm gonna tell you about the texture in your mouth in a second. But anyway,
You faggot, you.
uh, in your dreams, homeboy.
No,
Um,
no, but the good humor was my favorite. I remember my father started getting the banana ice cream pop, and I tasted it and I loved it. So that's what I would get with the banana ice cream. It was chocolate covered on a thing. The cones, I used to like cones when I was a kid too.
Well,
We
yeah,
had a lot of ice cream when I was a kid because my father at the bakery, he put an ice cream machine in there. An ice cream freezer. So we had good humor ice cream. Not good humor.
I like I like cones until
I
they
forget
they
the
I like
Dolly
cones.
Madison. Dolly Madison. You remember that?
Yep, I do. I like
We
I
told
like
Dolly Madison.
I like cones until they left the neighborhood. Then Mr. and Mrs. Cone went to Orange. Hard to tell a joke with your ass. But anyway, yeah, Dolly Madison, all that stuff, it's all gone. There was this ice cream, I think it was called Costa. They had a picture
It's
of
still around.
oh, really? A
I
little
think so.
French policeman on a bicycle. Their thing was they had cups of ice cream that you'd buy at the store, and it came with a little spoon, but the spoon was actually a candy spoon. So you know, so instead of a wooden spoon, so
You know what? Another one that's still there after I don't know how many years up in Newark, still at the same location, the main one anyway. I think they may have a couple other locations. Nastos. Never heard of Nastos?
never heard of it.
They were big. They were big. Yeah, and
There you go.
they're still very famous in the Newark area anyway. So
Right, yes,
they're still
very
down neck.
yeah. So they're still infamous. Okay, got it.
They're still down neck.
Yeah,
Uh, I'm trying to remember what the
stupid fucking
I
phrase.
heard today that the what
Stupid phrase.
I heard today. Let me see if I can find the headline at least because the Pope came out against something that surprised people.
Well, he's also recovering from an illness.
Oh, the Kremlin has warned Donald Trump to stay away from Greenland.
Hmm.
You know that you tell him don't do this, he's going to do that.
Well, see, that's a bargaining chip.
Yeah, it is.
That's all it is. Because I, I don't, they anything that's located in a pole is going to make the Russians very unhappy.
I don't see.
The thing is, we don't want the Chinese to control any ports in North America. Period. End of statement.
Well, the importance of Greenland is that it's close to the Arctic, and Russia and China are both looking for minerals and stuff up there.
Yeah,
They
but
want to have it for themselves.
they're going to have the China. I think Denmark owns it, and they're going to have the Chinese control the ports, which we can't allow.
The Chinese are controlling the ports. They
Well,
are controlling the ports.
then we don't want that. So that's going
Oh,
to.
full extent of UK child rape grooming gangs still unknown. Okay.
What? What'd you just read?
What you talked about the child grooming?
Yeah.
The full extent in the UK is still unknown.
Right. So, but here's the thing: they're talking about it now.
Oh, that's a different thing.
I think we're good for tonight
Yeah. All right.
because I've run out of little uh, sections in the playground
Oh,
to talk about.
Pope Francis proclaims a special jubilee for the LGBTQ plus community.
What a faggot!
And now also a former Vatican chief accuses Pope Francis of sins against the Holy Spirit. Ooh.
Absolutely, he's no vicar of Christ.
It's a German cardinal, Gerhard Mueller,
Well,
former head of the Vatican's doctrinal office.
well, we need another Bonhoeffer. You know about Bonhoeffer, right?
Oh yeah, he fought the Nazis. He was active against the Nazis in World War II. There's a film out about him coming out about him. Angel
Yeah.
Studios is producing it.
I already have a documentary on Bonhoeffer in my possession.
Yeah, well, they made a movie recently that I think is coming out. I think it's coming out soon.
Hmm.
But it's Bonhoeffer.
You.
All right. Well, we're going to say goodnight now. We will be back with another show in a couple of days or so.
Yeah, we'll
And
see.
we hope the new year is going well for all of you.
Send money.
Yeah, right. If you like the show, please like and share it with everybody in your circle, your
Yeah,
social
and if you're going
circle.
to give any money for the people that are hurt down south or over in California, do
Don't
not
give it to FEMA.
sure as fuck don't give it to FEMA. Um, but also don't give it to Red Cross.
Oh, Red Cross is such a ripoff these days.
It's just
They have millions and millions of dollars, and they're always crying poverty.
yes. Well, the thing is that they're a rich organization that instead of using its financial wealth to help people, it uses its financial wealth to ingratiate its organization.
Yes, that's right. They're not doing what they were founded to do. They're not doing what they used to do.
Who
So
is?
they're not worth giving money to.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that with that red stain on our podcast, we are going to say goodnight. And where the
Because
heck is my
after
mouse?
saying that, next thing is we're going to have the Salvation Army at our door.
Salvation Army, I can deal with. You know what? I'd rather have the Salvation Army. I'd even rather have Jehovah's Witnesses come to my door and try and uh, and recruit me than have these goddamn Muslims kill people just so that we become Muslims,
Well,
not to
if
get killed.
that's a choice, I don't think there's much debate about it. But the thing is, I've had Jehovah's Witness come to my door, and they usually make the mistake of presuming that you're a sinner. So the thing is, they come to your door and they say something like, "We'd like to teach you. We'd like to introduce you to Jesus Christ." And I go, "Well, what makes you think I don't already have a good relationship with Jesus?"
That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
Because it pisses me off that they're that presumptuous.
The other way you could answer it is open the door, and before they can say a word, saying, "Can I talk to you about Jesus?"
Yeah.
And then slam the door
You'd have,
closed.
you'd have to know something about him. Or you come out with the face and the fucking horns and stuff and going, yeah,
Wait, wait.
I'm I'm real close to Jesus, baby.
I saw a great little short video the other day. It was this black guy answers the door, right, and and, and a lady outside goes, "Hi, we were wondering if we could talk to you about Jesus for all." And the guy goes, "No, the sign language." She goes, "Oh, you're deaf?" He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. That's all right." And he starts closing the door, and she goes, "You fuck." Actually, she starts saying, "You motherfucker." So that was all a setup, but it's great to do today, really. Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually
With my luck, I'd have Jehovah's Witness who signs.
ended up going to recently Church of Latter Day Saints, and I went to service, and I was done, and they were going to have more services throughout the day. That the guys wanted me to stay there. I said, no, that one service is enough for me. And
I remember you told me that.
I actually pulled my leg trying to get away from these guys. I couldn't walk fast enough to get away from these guys. I was like, what the hell am
I
going
know.
to me, man?
They're as bad as those guys who get you into meetings for an MLM
Well,
thing.
the thing I
You know,
liked about them was that their kids got up and spoke. What I didn't like about them was their kids got up and spoke.
oh, speaking of Mormons, I always thought that the guys who I forget the creators of South Park who did the Book of Mormon, the play, right? I was listening to somebody the other day saying that you think that they're just completely destroying a Book of Mormon, but no, they are not really attacking it. And I mean, it's funny and it's worth watching and all, but they're not putting the Mormons down like everybody I think believes they were. And it's supposed to be a very fun time. So now I want to see it.
Okay, well, the thing is that um, on a different note, a number of years ago, after they threatened that author that was wrote a book about the Muslim faith. He was in France and they threatened his life and stuff.
Oh,
With an S, I believe.
the Indian guy who's he's English, but he's Indian descent.
Right. So anyway,
Salman Rushdie.
yeah. So that year in Texas, because um, they had a competition to for artists to get together and see who could draw the best Allah Muhammad. Fantastic, man. Only Texans can do that.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to catch you later, brother.
All right, man. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you soon.
And there we go.
There it is.
There it is. And there